This episode, we have the ugly side of ufology coming through, and this might be a good point for you to maybe hang it up and maybe skip this episode. I don't know. Cue the music. Hey, this is UFO News Report number 23, part of UFO Buster Radio, and I am Manny Moonraker. First of all, I gotta say that the second news report in this episode is not for everyone, but I feel like it would be a disservice to people who believe in certain false gods of ufology to not really listen to what that is. And actually, both news reports are the same situation. The first one comes out of the Sun, and their report, of course, is not so much the usual claiming all these 4.2 far, too good to be true news stories. This one is a kind of follow-up on Mr. Jaime Maussan's plaster mummies aliens out of the Nazca, Peru area. And so you heard it a couple weeks ago that apparently a bizarre three-fingered alien, quote-unquote, was found in Nazca, Peru, and at the center of all of this, along with the subscription-based, video service Gaia, at the center of all this was Jaime Maussan, who is synonymous with hoaxes and all these fake alien bodies and creatures and all that nonsense. So apparently, there was a convention that featured this three-fingered, plaster-like, white, ugly-looking thingamabob. People were being charged $300 a pop. The article, which I'm going to link in the description, of course, has all the information you want to see. It even has a copy of the x-ray of this little white mummy from nowhere. And I've got to say that if you look at the x-ray, it looks pretty human to me. Now, I don't know what Jaime Maussan is up to, but it looks like he's back to his old tricks. As we reported before, the so-called Roswell slides, he was in the middle of that. He was also charging $300 a pop. Turned out to be some mummified kid instead of a alien from 4.2 far related to the Roswell incident. But really, can we really be surprised? Is this shocking to anyone? What's shocking to me is why do people continue to buy into this nonsense? Now granted, they so-called carbon dated these bodies to be between 245 and 410 AD. So what? That doesn't make them alien. So the guy had three fingers. What's the big deal? There's plenty of three-fingered people walking around today. I mean, come on. Does that make them alien? Anyway, listen, I mean, there's no doubt that this mummy is kind of freaky looking. It's all white, powdery. The fingers are not just regular fingers. They're long as hell. The toes, there's 3 toes in each foot. Also creepy, long as hell looking, but does that mean that this was an alien per se? And then really let's look at my opening statement about having false ufology gods. What gives Gaia or Jaime Maussan the right to charge people $300 to look at something that they have not completely investigated and ruled out as being a human being? The only good thing about this article is that the university in St. Petersburg, which is involved in all this craziness as far as doing the research on this alien mummified powder white body, that they at least put in the caveat in their statement that this could just be another humanoid. maybe another type of human that just happened to be chilling with the people of Peru. So while, yeah, it's good to keep an open mind, I just think, again, that our buddy Jaime Maussan is again engaging in fleecing people who believe in UFOs and the idea that something is out there for $300 a pop. And what can I say? You know, you hate to hear that there's a sucker born every time, but every time that Jaime brings up a new creature, there's definitely a lot of burps going around. Like everything else, we'll keep an eye on it, see what happens, see where things are going to go. I would imagine that Gaia has experienced a significant increase in membership thanks to Mr. Maussan and his team. So I guess the only ones that don't benefit from this are the people that need real proof, not just the little man from South America. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Facebook, on the Facebook pages UFO Buster Radio and Manny Moonraker. Also at Manny Moonraker on Instagram and at UFO Buster Radio on Twitter. I'm always posting a bunch of stuff here and there just because it's fun. But it is the best way to get in contact with me because, you know, we all got smartphones. Social media is all over my smartphone, so I can do that. If you want to send me a private message, you can do Manny at UFObusterradio.com. I can definitely respond there. This next story is a follow-up to one that had a lot of dialogue on through YouTube regarding Romanek. So, of course, I'm talking about good old Stan Romanek, alien abductee extraordinaire, who produced the Boo video and other UFO videos of extraordinary quality, of which many say were all faked. Hashtag fake news. But just recently, in the last day, Snopes has released an article regarding our favorite abductee, Mr. Stan Romanek. And this is the point where you might want to just take a step away, because I got to read this. And the reason I got to read it is because they claim that they're going to take ufology into the courtroom because it was the government who was trying to silence Stan Romanek and keep him from disclosing the truth. So as you are aware, Romanek and Lisa, his wife, are pretty much saying that this is happening because their computer was hacked. So back on February 12, 2014, the Loveland, Colorado police charged Romanek with the child pornography charges. What I didn't cover in the last episode regarding Romanek was the actual report. Thanks to Snopes, we have a couple of snippets. And I think it's important for you who believe in false ufology gods to listen to this. So the first warrant was issued February 12th of 2014. However, they've been watching Romanek for some time. According to this, the warrant was part of a 8-month-long investigation of online sharing and possession of child pornography that included the execution of a search warrant from April of 2013. Basically, they were investigating him all that time because they had received several tips. They were provided by Homeland Security, but the Loveland police, they didn't have a cyber crimes unit at the time, so they couldn't, I guess, really pursue it. They didn't have the technology or the equipment to do it. I'm not really sure how that works, but that's what their report says. The investigation started as far back as 2008 when Homeland Security Special Agent Darryl Franklin discovered images traced from a peer-to-peer file-sharing network to Romanek's IP address. The images showed very young girls being sexually assaulted. And that's when the Loveland, Colorado Police Department kind of fell short because they didn't have that cyber crimes unit. So just like they didn't have a way to investigated, but it seems like everybody dropped the ball on this one, if you ask me, because if Homeland Security is telling you they have this, why wasn't that enough? Very strange. So anyway, in 2013, Franklin allegedly found child pornography once again that could be traced back to Romanek's computer. The report reads the following. The pictures contain images of girls that span an age range of 5 to approximately 12 years in age. In each of these photos, the girls were posed in seductive manners and exposing their body parts. And I'll leave that. If you want to read exactly what was exposed, I'll have the link in the description. Personally, I don't want to read it to you guys. I mean, I gotta draw the line somewhere. Just know the guy is sick. Several of these girls were very young and unmistakably children. So I'm sorry. There's no 5-year-old that looks like a 21 or 25 or 27-year-old. So in other words, there's no way that Romanek, who can identify extraterrestrials, cannot identify that the porn that he has on his computer is a kid. The part that really gets me that was not in the other article is this, and this is the part that's a kicker. This is where your ufology false gods are really taking us for a ride. So apparently, the new cybercrimes unit for Loveland, Colorado, when they were able to serve and search under the warrant back in April, the lead investigator, Brian Koopman, found that the computer's hard drive had been erased. However, the investigators later reportedly found hundreds of images depicting child pornography on USB sticks and similar videos on a laptop, which finally culminated in Romanek's arrest. And this is what Lisa Romanek is claiming she is going to take ufology into in this hearing. You can almost buy the idea because you have those thousands of news reports of there being some kind of a virus or some kind of a Trojan backdoor into people's computers in order to hide this nasty, horrific child pornography on someone's computer. You can almost buy that because there's evidence of that. It's everywhere. But how does it get on a USB memory stick that you've unplugged from your laptop or your computer? And for those of you who have seen the Netflix documentary, there's a scene in there where he has an image of his computer screen claiming that the computer was wiped clean. When you look at this report, was it at that time when that happened one of the times that Stan Romanek was deleting child pornography from his computer? Is it possible that this is why that happened, and to cover it up, he made it seem like someone maliciously went into his computer and hacked it just because he knew the truth about ETs? It's a sick story, and if you stuck around, my apologies, but I think it's important that we understand that it is very possible that once the Romaneks get done with ufology in this hearing, ufology is shot to heck. Thanks to people like Jaime Maussan and Stan Romanek, we need to give up ufology altogether. There's just too many greedy, sick individuals within this study of the unknown, and it's being tainted to the point where we need to abandon ship or we're all going to burn in hell for what they're doing. This is episode 23. I'm signing out. I need to go get cleansed. Sayonara.